The halls of Unified High buzzed with the usual hum of conversations and laughter, punctuated by the occasional beep of holographic lockers opening and closing. It was an ordinary day, but for Declan Forrester, it would be anything but. Declan, with his sandy hair and athletic build, navigated the crowded hallway with ease, his green eyes scanning for any sign of trouble. It didn't take long. Near the lockers, a commotion drew his attention. Sarketh, the towering Drakari with dark scales and piercing yellow eyes, had cornered a new student. Declan recognized her from his biology class, Sierra, a blue-skinned Zenari girl, her large, expressive eyes wide with fear. "Look at you," Sarketh sneered, shoving Sierra against the locker. "Pathetic. Can't even stand up for yourself." Sierra clutched her gray plush toy, her only comfort in this hostile environment. Declan felt a surge of anger. He stepped forward, his voice firm. "Leave her alone, Sarketh." Sarketh turned, his eyes narrowing. "And what are you going to do about it, Forrester?" Declan didn't flinch. "Whatever it takes to stop you." A crowd had gathered, their whispers filling the air. The bell rang, ending the standoff, but Declan knew this was far from over. As he walked Sierra to her next class, he promised her, "You're not alone, Sierra. We'll get through this together." The next day, Declan sought out Sierra during lunch. He found her sitting alone under a tree, her plush toy resting on her lap. He sat beside her, offering a friendly smile. "Mind if I join you?" Sierra's eyes softened. "Thank you, Declan. For yesterday." "No problem," he said, taking a bite of his sandwich. "Tell me about your home." Sierra's face lit up as she described Zenara, a world of peace and empathy. "We value harmony above all else. Conflict is rare. That explains why you're such an easy target for someone like Sarketh," Declan said thoughtfully. "But you shouldn't have to change who you are." Sierra's smile faded. "It's hard to stay hopeful when it feels like the whole world is against you." Declan leaned forward, his voice earnest. "You have more allies than you think. We just need to stand together." Word of Declan's defiance spread quickly. He rallied a small group of friends who shared his sense of justice. Together, they supported Sierra, standing up to Sarketh's bullying whenever it occurred. Yet the harassment persisted, and Sierra's serene nature began to waver under the constant pressure. One afternoon, as they walked home, Sarketh confronted them again. His followers circled, ensuring no escape. "Stay out of my way, Forrester, or you'll regret it." Sarketh growled, his eyes full of malice. Declan met his gaze unflinchingly. "I'm not backing down." The bullying reached a peak when Sarketh, in a fit of rage, tore Sierra's plush toy apart in the middle of the cafeteria. The room fell silent as Sierra crumpled to the floor, tears streaming down her face. Declan felt a fire ignite within him. Enough was enough. He stood it, his voice ringing out across the room. "Sarketh, this ends now. Meet me in the courtyard after school. Just you and me." The school buzzed with anticipation. Declan spent the rest of the day preparing mentally, knowing this confrontation was inevitable. His friends offered support, but it was Sierra's quiet strength that bolstered him the most. "Why are you doing this, Declan?" she asked as they walked to the courtyard. "Because it's the right thing to do," he replied simply. The courtyard was packed with students when Sarketh arrived, flanked by his cronies. Declan stepped forward, standing tall. "It's time someone taught you a lesson." Sarketh sneered. "You're a fool, Forrester. I'll crush you." The showdown was intense. Sarketh lunged at Declan, his movements swift and powerful. But Declan was agile, using his smaller size to his advantage. He dodged and weaved, landing quick blows that kept Sarketh off balance. The crowd watched in stunned silence, their eyes glued to the spectacle. Sierra and Declan's friends cheered him on, their voices a chorus of support. "You can do it, Declan," Sarah called out, her voice carrying above the noise. Declan felt a surge of determination. He ducked under one of Sarketh's swings, then kicked out, knocking the Drakari off his feet. The crowd gasped as Sarketh hit the ground, stunned. "It's over, Sarketh," Declan said, breathing hard. "You don't have to be this way." Sarketh's eyes blazed with fury. "You think you've won? This is far from over." Teachers rushed in, breaking up the fight. Sarketh was escorted away, but not before he shot Declan a chilling look. The fight had ended, but the war was just beginning. The aftermath of the fight sent ripples through the school. The administration, finally taking notice, began implementing policies to foster a more inclusive environment. Anti-bullying campaigns were launched and counselors were brought in to help students like Sarketh address their issues. Sierra started to blossom, her serene nature shining through more brightly as she felt safer and more accepted. She and Declan grew closer, their friendship a beacon of hope for other students facing similar struggles. "Thank you, Declan, for everything," Sierra said one afternoon as they walked to class. Declan smiled. "We're just getting started, Sierra. Together we can make this school a better place." But as they turned the corner, a shadowy figure watched from the distance. The fight for justice was far from over, but Declan and Syra were ready for whatever came next. In the days that followed, the school's atmosphere began to change. Students stood up against bullying, inspired by Declan's bravery. Sarketh, under the guidance of a counselor, started to reflect on his actions, beginning a slow journey of change. Declan and Syra knew their fight wasn't over, but they also knew they weren't alone. As they walked through the halls of Unified High, they felt a sense of unity and hope. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead, determined to make their world a better place for everyone. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. With empathy, courage, and a strong sense of justice, anything was possible.